After spending many successful years at Fratton Park, Linvoy Primus became a fan favourite amongst Portsmouth fans, myself included. Since retiring, Linvoy has remained in Portsmouth, where his charity Faith and Football are based. I met with Linvoy to see how he's getting on since hanging up his boots. So Linvoy, you said that you always wanted to be a footballer. When did your dream come true, really?
Yeah, I think you know, from the age of 8, wanting to play football and being a place of, you know, I want to do what those guys do on TV. It sort of came to life when I was 14 and I got scouted with Charlton, because that was the moment I thought, well, this could really happen. But as that dream was beginning to take shape, I also recognised that it wasn't going to be an easy road, because as well as me, there was, you know, a number of other young boys who wanted to be footballers, and I started to realise it wasn't just about your ability, but it was about your attitude. The dream came alive, came to reality when I was 16. I got offered an apprenticeship because now I was training full time, but it was like there was another obstacle. It was, you know, 2 years of hoping that you'd get your professional contract. So, you know, you thought the hard part was getting to the apprenticeship, then you realise, oh no, that was hard, but it's going to be even harder getting your professional contract. But the dream, you know, came to fruition when I got my pro contract at 18, and again, you think to yourself, right, you're a pro, you're in, and that's it, you're going to be a pro forever. Then all of a sudden you realise that you've got to try and get into the first team, and then you've got to earn your next contract, you know. So sometimes the dream of being a footballer can actually be a lot more challenging than the reality of the reality of being a footballer is in a way, the dream side of it sort of fades away, because you start to realise that this is going to be real tough, real hard work. And as much as you enjoy playing football with your friends and your teammates and, you know, live on telly and all that sort of stuff, you recognise that it is hard work just to stay in the industry.
And obviously your career kind of blossomed at Fratton Park. Would you say you enjoyed your time at the teams before that?
I wouldn't say. It's a strange thing when you're in it. You literally live game to game. So I think if I was in a successful team throughout my early career, I think football might have been a bit different. I might have enjoyed a lot more of it. But because the challenges for me were personal, in terms of not wanting to fail, I always wanted to be excellent at what I did. I wouldn't say I enjoyed it as much as I could have done. You know, don't get me wrong. To do a job that you love, you know, there's always good sides of it, but it's never as glamorous as it all. You know, as the little snippets you see, it's never as glamorous as that consistently. But then when I came to Portsmouth, even the first couple of seasons wasn't, you know, great. We just managed to stay up through relegation. The second season we stayed up comfortably, but had a number of injuries. And then the third season is when it really took off, and you know, being in a team that got promoted and playing in the Premier League, I actually saw what it was like to be successful, but able to enjoy it because of my faith. Whereas before, I would have worried, oh, next game, how's it going to work out? Are we going to win? Are we going to lose? How are you going to play? Was now overtaken with, Lynn, you deserve to be here. If you're not going to be here, it's not because you've not played well or you've not given 100%. You're not going to be here because it's time to go. It's time for a change. And if you have to change and leave Portsmouth, it's because God wants you elsewhere. And when you play with that freedom and that peace, you know, you enjoy it. I enjoyed, you know, my time at Portsmouth so much more.
And so what would you say was the turning point in your career as a footballer? Yeah,
as a footballer, I'd say my relationship with Jesus, that was my turning point. There's no doubt in that. My performances, my whole life improved. It really improved, and I think because I recognised that actually I had a gift to play football, but it was more. There was more to Linvoy. That you know, it was like everything at some point before I became a Christian related to football. And if we won, I'd be happy. If we lost, I'd be sad. But then when you break free of that, and then you know that, well, win, lose or draw, you know, as long as you give 100%, that's all you can do. That I was able to live my life in a better way because I was able to do other things. So I started a charity, helping young people, you know, release the potential in them. And when I saw life change there, you know, it was like, wow, this is it. Then I started to travel and do mission trips abroad. And it was like, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to see lives change. I want to do this. And so football became the sport and the thing that I wanted to do as a kid. It started to come back to that again, and I was able to see that actually life doesn't end when you lose or win. Or, you know, that's not the whole being of life. That actually there's more to it. And so that was a turning point. 2001. That was a turning point when I started that journey with Jesus.
Did you ever, you know, you accepted God into your life, but did you ever expect the changes that did happen, like, you know, becoming a successful Premiership footballer?
Not at all. I honestly thought that football and Christianity couldn't work together. I just thought there was no way these two worlds can work. But you know, if the Bible's true, which I believe it is, if God created us and He's got a plan for us, which I believe He has, then why would my work life and my Christian life be separate? You know, what had happened, Christianity enhanced my life. It really enhanced my life. And football used to be the thing that I served most, and that was the top part of my life. But then I started to when I put God up there, it's like everything fell into place. It was like everything else I was doing after that gave me much more enjoyment, because I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for God and for other people, and when you're in that place, you know, there's a hope. There's a real hope, and like I say, that was able to transfer onto the football pitch, in the dressing room, around the stadium, you know, across the world of football, because I was starting to meet other Christian players. There's players becoming Christians at the club. We were travelling away and doing stuff abroad, and you know, when you get that, you can't buy it. You can't buy the joy that it gives you. In amongst all of that, though, there were still ups and downs. There were still trials and tribulations. There was still stuff going on. But, like I say, the Bible gave me a way through, and my wife a way through the issues that were going on as well.
Mm. Well, obviously, as a Pompey fan myself, I've got to ask, what are your kind of top 3 highlights of your Portsmouth career?
Well, top 3, obviously promotion to the Premier League, winning Player of the Year in that time as well, playing in the Premier League. You can't, for everything football stands for, if you took that away and just said you're going to be playing at Anfield or Old Trafford or White Hart Lane, and you're going to play in front of a big crowd, and you know what, that was so special. I felt like a little kid when I walked out onto the pitch at times, because it was like, I'm living the dream, you know. And I think just being part of a really successful time at Portsmouth, because there was, you know, I didn't know too much about the history before I joined the club, but I knew that they hadn't really, as a club, didn't really have many good, happy times that were consistent. So to be part of that was so good. And there's a number, you know, even playing alongside some of the, you know, England internationals, Nigerian internationals, you know, Croatian internationals, French internationals, like that. And there was me in the middle of it. All of that, it's just, when I don't really look back too much in terms of my life as a footballer, and think, oh, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. But when I have those moments when I think about it, you know, those last 7 years were just, if someone would have said I'd be playing in the Premier League at 31 years old, when I was 25, 26, I would have said, I can't see that happening. I don't think many others would have seen it, and that's why I know that it was God, you know, it's God all the way. So to be able to experience it was pretty special.
And you're a big hero down at Fratton Park. But also you seem to enjoy giving back to the community of Portsmouth. What is it about Portsmouth that kind of makes you want to give back?
Yeah, well, I just know, Portsmouth reminds me very much of East London, working class. If you're doing well, everyone supports you. If you're not doing well, everyone supports your community. And just being able to inspire people to go for it, whatever the area they want to do it, just to be able to do that, it just really warms my heart. I wouldn't have known about that if I'd have just continued to be consumed by football. But there's something about, I think, the warmth that Portsmouth people have shown to me is because they see something in me that's in them, and that's that drive to be successful, to give your best, even if it's not going well, just go for it. And I think that's why there's a real warmth both ways. And the fans have been patient with me, the community have been patient with me, in terms of what I was doing on the football pitch. But to be able to help inspire one person has been my dream. And in all honesty, that was a dream I had when I was a kid, to be able to go back to London, go back to my area where I lived, and inspire young people to do something. The only difference is I haven't gone back to London to do it. I've done it in Portsmouth because that's my home, And but it has cascaded out from there. It's gone on to Birmingham, Plymouth, Barnsley, and different areas in London as well. So my dream was that big, tiny, but God's dream is far bigger than that. And I've just seen him, his hand move things and make things happen.
Would you say charity work was a natural progression for you to take after retiring from football?
Yeah, because when I went out to Nigeria on a mission trip, when I was coming home, I just said to the guy that I went with, I just said, you know what, if I could do this every day, I would. So I think it was a natural progression, but I wouldn't have experienced it until, I wouldn't have known that until I took the challenge, stepped out of my comfort zone. So now, charity work for me is it just feels normal. It doesn't feel like charity, it just feels like I'm able to just use my time to help other people. And again, however that looks, that's my heart. But again, I think being consumed by football didn't allow that freedom to come out. I used to do it in bits and pieces, but to actually do it as a full-time part of Linvoy's life, then I think it's great, and I just really enjoy it. It doesn't feel like it's an effort, it just feels like a natural thing to do.
And Faith and Football is your charity. Could you just maybe explain a little bit about what it is you do? Yeah,
well, so Faith and Football started in 2002. We use it as started it as a vehicle to engage with local community. So it was the church, the people of the church being able to reach into the community. So we just use football to start off little football leagues, get kids along to play. Church had volunteers that would come along and support them. This has grown now to a reading project called Extra Time Reading, where we go into schools and work with underachieving readers. Get, again, volunteers from the local church who, it tends to be the elderly who've got that time in the day to go and do one-to-one reading. We've seen some of these children sort of adopt the volunteers as their grandparents, their surrogate grandparents. So we see two communities coming together again because some of these children are from homes where they won't see their grandparents. So to be able to have somebody they look up to, a role model they have to look up to, has been great. We run something called Enterprise Business Challenge, which is getting students to start business, Years 9 students to start businesses, trade for 4 months. The work gets judged. The winning team then go out to India to see the work we support out in India. Again, it's getting these young people to learn or unearth the gifts that are in them: business, marketing, sales, finance, all the things you learn in school from a book, but actually put it into practice. And again, we've seen a number of young people who have grasped it, their careers have changed because of it. Their motive in terms of why they make money has changed. And again, being able to show them there's a different way that you can live your life, even with money, being able to show them that or let them experience that. Again, you can't buy that. You can't buy how much joy it brings for everybody involved to see those lives change. So, and we run another football project called, which is based around life skills. So we get young men who are struggling a bit, get them in classroom, do some stuff with them, get them playing football, and just get good positive role models around them. So they're our core things, but we run a number of little things off the back of those as well.
And what else is it that you're doing with your time now? Yeah,
well, I work with another charity called Christians in Sport, and I travel up and down the country meeting Christian footballers in a mentoring role, which has been great. But I'm finding now that I'm meeting a number of footballers who aren't Christians, but who are coming to the end of their careers, whether they're 16 or 36, and being able to offer some advice through this transition of change in their lives. So I'm up and down the country a fair bit, which is great. And I also do a number of talks for churches. So again, youth groups, Sunday services, men's groups, again about the story of hope, because there's a real hope. And also, a lot of people are asking, what's your purpose? You know, what is your purpose in life? What are we here for? Why? What, you know, and to be able to show them that, you know, I played football, or tell them that I played football, thought that was my purpose, but then, you know, this relationship with Jesus has changed my whole outlook. To be able to do that and be, you know, uncomfortable as I do it, because I'm not a natural. Forgot the word I was going to use then. I'm not, you know, I wouldn't call myself a natural speaker from the front, but being able to get up and do that to help, again, challenge people, then, you know, then I'll do it.
And what can we expect from Linvoy in the future?
What can we expect? I think there's going to be opportunity. I think I'm going to be involved in taking current and ex-players abroad on these mission trips. I think preaching is going to be a big part of my life. I'm in the process of doing a theology degree, just so I know handling the Bible better, understanding, you know, what goes on in that Bible and how it relates to our lives. So, a different career path than what I thought, but it just feels this is what God's calling me into.
Whereabouts are you doing the degree, sorry?
Over in Oxford with the charity that I work with, but it's all, you can do it, you know, distant stuff and in classroom. So because I'm on the road a fair bit, I have blocks where I'm in being taught stuff, and then I do stuff away from there as well. So
okay, nice. Fair play.
A bit different.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
lovely. And obviously you still take a keen interest in Portsmouth, I assume? Yeah,
still you know, happy with Andy going in and getting the job.
Yeah,
really pleased. Yeah, really pleased for him.
How do you think they'll be doing next season?
You know what, I just think it's just a steady season. No, let's not panic if we're not up there. Let's not panic if we're down the bottom. Let's just keep the foundations in, build from the bottom up, whether that's the academy lads coming in, young players, whatever that looks like. Just be stable. You know, we need stability more than anything else, and let's not panic that, you know, whether we're in the top two or, you know, bottom part of the table. Let's just keep it in an even keel so that we can build on it, rather than, you know, get thrust all the way up there and get disappointed. Let's do it steadily, and if it means we go up and we're promoted, great. That'd be a bonus. If not, it's still great. The club is still there, and they're still in good hands.
And obviously you worked with Andy quite a lot. He's been at the club a while. Do you think he's the right man for the job?
I think he is. You know, in terms of he understands the club, he knows the city. He, you know, he's got a good grip. Good grip with the academy, and you know, so he knows a lot more about the club than you know. a number of other people that have been there in the past. So I think he's the right man for now. And you know, as long as he's given the chance to fulfil what the club want.
Okay, thank you. And quickly, just going back to your playing career, are there any standout performances from yourself that you know stick with you?
Yeah, not really. I'd say, in general, you know, there's always moments with, you know, tackles. Like I said, the tackle on Rooney, playing against Giggs and, you know, Drogba and those guys. So I think, yeah, even, you know, and that's what I mean, because I don't really dwell on what I've done in the past. It feels like it's a blur really, but just playing against like the likes of Owen and Shearer and, you know, having good and bad days against them, but just generally having those sorts of, being on the pitch and tackling them and, you know, winning against them, they all merge into one. So I wouldn't say there's one standout, but I think there's generally lots of different incidents that make me smile.
Yeah. Say like on the Saturday when you went down to the Fratton Park and you saw the opposition team sheet, what sort of striker would you say you more enjoyed playing against?
Probably your Kevin Davises, your you know, Shearers, you know, a bit more physical. The nippy ones were okay, but I like the physical battle, to be fair, yeah, because at least you could, dare I say it, kick them and they wouldn't moan.
And if you were still around nowadays playing football,
I'd find it hard not to tackle and get booked.
Is there anyone particularly that you'd fancy yourself playing against, or you'd look forward
I'd like
to
the challenge? Yeah, the challenge, the real challenge I'd like would be Suarez.
Yeah.
Suarez and Torres when he was on form, because I just loved, even if I was, you know, wasn't the best, or they got the better of me, just to be able to try and, you know, play against them would have been good. And you know, like I say, in the heyday, Henry was probably the toughest I'd ever faced, but I had good days and bad days against him. So I'd love to have tried it against Suarez and Torres.
Yeah. And so finally, any predictions on the World Cup? You looking forward to this?
I am looking forward to it. England, I just want them to just be free, just enjoy it. I'd like to see Brazil do well, but you know, Spain are going to be up there, obviously, and Argentina as well. But I think Brazil will get to the final and possibly win it.
Yeah. Linvoy's money.
Oh, I don't know. I'll change after the first week, but no, I think it might be Brazil.
Okay, brilliant.
Lovely.
Well, that'll do us there.
Cheers, man. Thank you very much. Thank you.